job of an architect is not to put a signature of what he knows on every project, but we believe that our job is to translate what the client has said and even what he hasn't said. We call it safely a very contemporary house. But the story goes that we are very much inclined as a firm towards a very modern way of building. But the client's aspirations are towards more grand and monumental kind of architecture. And they have spent some time in US. And they're very much liking the US neoclassical kind of stuff. So we took it up a challenge to fuse the American grandeur with very modern functional things and see how they come together. Client brief was to do a house which looks like one house but is essentially two houses for the two sons and their families. Interestingly, what I believe won us the project was this idea of the hinge. And the circular drum of this hinge is the Rotunda. It's a grand 3-floor height space, about 13 meters in diameter. And the idea is to make it a ceremonial living space. And it is one place where both the houses come together. So we were very sure that we want to make it as grand as possible. So we have a very interesting flooring pattern which gets reflected on the ceiling. The wall has butch work done very skillfully by workers from Rajasthan using the red agra stone. And all along the periphery there is skylight washing these walls, which really creates very interesting shadows and magic throughout the day. If you genuinely try to understand this house, it has two faces. It's like this. This one is looking to the river and it is connected to the peripheral road. So any guest entering the house, formal guest, they would like to welcome through the back side, which is actually the front side, into this large rotunda. That creates that wow for the visitor. On the other hand, as a family of 5 brothers, they're a very close-knit family and they also want to be part of the entire community. So even that is their front side. There is no back side to this house, there are 2 front sides. So the one towards the garden, it is where the oshery is, the ota is, the semi-open space is, and from there they interact with the entire community. So essentially, this house is about 45,000 square feet of construction. Each house has about 8 bedrooms, a living room, a family room, and a very elaborate kitchen and dining. Like the other 2 houses that we built on the campus, this house also had a very tight timeline of 13 months. 13 months, about 16 bedrooms, about 10 public spaces, 2 kitchen, dining. Itself was a huge challenge. So we had to be very organized in our decision making and ordering. So while the foundation was being constructed, we already went to Italy to select the final furniture. And then we worked backwards with the white floor and that furniture to build up the remaining palette. And it was quite an interesting exercise as an office to figure out how the complex house, where every space is kind of respecting and reflecting on the individual user of the bedroom, and still make it one house, everything is ordered on time, and they all come together in a very coherent way. what drives the designs are 4 aspects. Number 1, there is a river Tapti just across the road. So one needs to raise the house to have the river view. Second part was this is part of a larger campus which has a central community garden. So it needs to orient itself towards the garden as well as towards the river. Third part was having a parking below the house. They're very fond of cars and bikes, and they thought that they want to keep them close to where they live. So that was another important part of the brief, and in fact it helped us elevate the house. And the fourth one was having a series of common spaces which is shared by them. When it came to deciding the finishes of the house, on the outside, there was a very clear value that how to make it easy to maintain. So we have generously used a lot of stones, marbles, black granite, red travertino, red agra stone on the outside. And on the inside, there is one color, white, as a floor which is connecting throughout the house. And then we have used accents like the red agra or some other accent stones into various rooms or spaces to give it a little differentiation. We made 3D simulations and renders for each and every space with the exact rug, exact lighting, exact flooring, exact furniture, and even the color of the fabric on the curtains. Once that was locked, we told the client, if you want to meet the timeline, there is no reverse gear, which they gleefully accepted. They trusted us, and we really marched ahead to complete this in a very clockwork fashion. If I look back at the final product or final outcome, maybe architecturally this is not exactly me, but it's my evolution to accepting many others in the office as me, because this gave an expression to so many designers in the office. On the client's end, I think whatever they aspired for, I believe they've got much more, and that is very evident in the way they communicate with us. And nothing gives more satisfaction to us than a very happy and satisfied client.